Now, I want to, you have something on your website called the Golden Egg Principle. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, I couldn't dig deep enough, and I don't know if you're going to share enough here on the podcast about that Golden Egg Principle, but I found it pretty fascinating, just a little bit that I read. So tell us about the Golden Egg Principle.
So when I start the training, there's a parable that I created, and it's called the Golden Egg Principle. And there may be 50 leaders in the room, and I say, hey, you know what? You're all one big happy family, and you're third generation dairy farmers. Okay. And so you run this dairy farm because it's profitable and you inherit it, but you all have your businesses that you run outside, but everybody contributes to keep this farm going. Well, there's a tradition. Every Saturday you have a breakfast. So whoever shows up, and it's your turn to cook. And you've got some chickens on your lot there, and there's farm fresh eggs. And of course, every once in a while, chicken will get old. You might have chicken for breakfast as well. And so you send the nieces and nephews out there, and they go and you say, hey, I need 2 dozen eggs. And they come back in, and one of the eggs is golden. And, you're trying to get breakfast together, and you're frustrated. And you're like, what is this? There's no game here. I asked you to go get 2 dozen eggs. Well, that was what was out there. And so now you're arguing with the nieces and nephews, and you march out to the chicken coop, and what do you find? Oh, man, you find a whole nest of golden eggs, right? So then I start asking the audience, no, what do you do next? People are like, well, golden eggs. Well, we got to find out if they're real. Well, they're real. Okay, well, man, we got to erect a fence around this because we got a golden egg laying chicken, and we got to start feeding them better, and we got to water them and all this. And so we usually get a list of about 2 dozen items. Then I take them back through the parable and say, hey, the golden eggs represent the product or service your people render. The chickens are your people. And those nieces and nephews, that's the data. Because, people will argue with the data.
Yes.
The data's saying, oh, it's not true. The data's telling you it's true, right? And then you have to verify that. And then every item that they brought up, I related back to their business, right? Hey, you said that you were going to treat your people, the chickens well. You're doing all these things for the chickens, but you're not doing it for your people. And people will laugh, well, you do it for a chicken, right? Oh, okay. And really break it down. And so you just draw it back to their business and showing how important it is to treat your people well, because I don't care what company it is. Everybody wants golden egg laying chickens. Everybody wants great employees. They'll train them, right? You give me a great employee, I'll take them. I'll train them up. And so you really have to protect that asset. So that's the Golden Egg Principle, and it's really a simple parable, but it drives the lesson.
So that's fascinating. So you spent 10 years with UPS. You spent 10 years with their major competitor, FedEx.
Right.
Okay. Do you believe that there was one of those 2 companies that personified the Golden Egg Principle more than another?
I do. So it's interesting. I work for FedEx Ground specifically, and we were RPS, and FedEx came and purchased us around 2000, 2001. And so FedEx Ground's only been around since 1985. UPS been around since 1907. So when I was at UPS, hey, we've been around since 1907. Stand over there. We'll tell you what to do. We don't need your input. When I go to FedEx Ground, they're like, hey, we've only been around since 1985. So if you got a better way, you can build a better mousetrap, let us know. We'll implement it. So I had so much more autonomy. So there are probably a half a dozen policies that are company-wide that I created because I had these ideas. And because of those ideas, they're the most profitable branch of FedEx now. And obviously they're a major competitor for UPS, but it was people like me with these ideas. And here's what I'll say. And I take this to my grave, swear on a Bible, anywhere. When I was in a leadership position, I remember the last position I had at UPS, it was in business development. So I ran the telephone center, preferred customer center. Then I had all the salespeople west of Nebraska. And I'm telling you, about 2 to 3 times a week, somebody would call me up, an upper level manager, start cussing me out about something one of my people had done or said. 2 to 3 times a week, this happened. I was at FedEx for 10 years. It never happened once. That's a difference.
So you're saying FedEx personifies that golden egg rule far better than UPS?
Far better. Now, there's a reason why I left too, because we were migrating more towards this thinking. It's a strange thing to where companies are different, and that what makes them great. Then they get to a certain level and they say, well, they're not doing this, so why should we do it? And then they start coming back to the field. So I felt like they were coming closer to what I remember about UPS as I left.
But what you're talking about is a stark difference in leadership of FedEx versus UPS.
Huge.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And feel free to give us some comments below. If you want to watch this entire episode, you can find the link here on the screen or in the description below. Thanks for watching.
Starting your route to retirement.